Hi guys, and welcome to December's Teen Book Club. So this month we did the book Sleeping in My Jeans, and this is by Connie King Leonard. And it is actually a very unique book. I didn't realize when I ordered this for our collection that it is published by essentially a university press. It's a very small printing company. It's called Hooligan Press, and it is run by students. So it's a student-run printing press. So if you are interested in purchasing another copy of this book, or if you want to give a gift for the holidays and you know somebody who might like this, you should definitely support this press. But before we get into any more of this, my name is Kelsey.
Oh, I'm Swaneet.
I realized we hadn't introduced ourselves yet. I think that we've done so many of these videos now that we kind of just assume you all know who we are.
Oh,
but
yes.
If you don't know yet, I am the teen librarian, and Swaneet is one of our reference assistants. However, by the time that this airs, Swaneet is going to have gone off to better things. So this is our last book club that she will be with us for. So.
I'm sad. I've already cried today.
We love Swaneet very much, but we're sending her off to greater things.
Health benefits.
To health benefits and insurance.
Yeah.
So, let's get into Sleeping in My Jeans. So, like I said, this is by Connie King Leonard. What were your initial thoughts? Or do you want to talk about the summary a little bit?
So my initial thought was, oh no, this is going to be really, really sad. But I did really like the writing style. I felt like it flowed really well. It wasn't clunky at all.
No.
And there wasn't really huge, she doesn't waste a lot of time. I mean, it is a pretty thin, it's more like a novella than a novel.
Let's see how many pages.
I really liked that the car was a character.
The car has a name.
Yeah, and I felt like the car had its own presence.
Well, I feel this book is about a young woman who is a high school student, and her mom, due to some relationship issues that she has with her current boyfriend, they leave the apartment that they're staying in with him, and it's her and her younger sister and the mom, and they end up living out of their car for a while. I think it's about a week before the mom goes missing, which another thing we always talk about spoilers in book club, so if you haven't finished the book yet, just be aware of that.
There's maybe spoilers.
I believe it says on the back though that her mom goes missing, so that's not a big spoiler.
Yeah.
So they are living out of their car for about a week or so before the mom goes missing.
I think that's right.
And what happens is that the car breaks down and has some mechanical issues, and the mom tries to go get it fixed, and then she never comes to the library to pick them up. And that's another thing that I love.
Is that they're at the library.
They're at the library all the time.
But I was like, I don't like these librarians. They're being mean.
There were some not very nice librarians.
Yeah.
They were very, they hassled them a lot about why they were there.
Here?
And part of it was because the younger sister is technically too young to be in the library without an adult. And that is something that we enforce here at our library. And it makes you think about, your job as a librarian. If I knew that these kids were homeless and this was the only place that they had to stay, would we enforce that?
Right, but it also goes into why we have those rules, and it's more to protect them, but if there's nobody there to protect them.
And to be fair, our main character, it's Maddie, right?
Maddie.
Yeah, she does stay with her sister almost all the time. They're very quiet. They don't get into any kind of trouble. And that's good. That's not the kind of problem that we have usually when we have to enforce that rule. But, so they're living in their car. They're going to the library. She is still going to school. The mom drops them off at school, and then she'll go to her job, and then she'll come and pick them up. So the mom goes missing, and then Maddie, the older sister, kind of has to go and figure out what has happened to their mom. And it's really frightening.
All this on top of, just being a normal teenager is hard enough, going to school. Maddie is trying to make her life better.
Yeah.
When this is all starting, she's trying to get into a really good school and to not have to worry about paying for it and to be able to take care of her sister and her mom.
And she knows that she has to have those perfect grades because otherwise there's no way she's getting any kind of scholarship for school. So, and they also bring up the fact that Maddie is mixed race. She is half white and half African American, and her sister is has a different father, and so she is just a young white girl, a Caucasian girl. So one of the problems is that Maddie is afraid of running into racism at the library and out on the street and having somebody accuse her of not being her younger sister's sister and having like abducted this child or something. So that I thought that was really, really important that they added that.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't even, I mean, I would like to think that I would have thought of that as being an issue, but I don't know if I would have if the author hadn't brought it up as something that could have been a problem.
I would have thought of that.
Well, I am a white person, so and I don't have to deal with that. So that is just another kind of thing that is brought up by the author in this that I really liked.
Yeah.
So overall, I liked it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be a lot sadder. Like, it is, you know, it does deal with a lot of heavy topics, but you weren't going to feel totally overwhelmed or crushed. You know, there's always hope at the end.
Yeah. The conflict resolves itself. I like that there kind of was a romantic interest.
Yeah.
But it was very on the sidelines. Like, Maddie clarifies to this boy that she does not care about having a relationship with him or anyone else, and she has stuff she's got to do. She's got to take care of herself and her family and her grades. And he is like, listen, I just want to get to know you better. Like, if you ever need anything, call me. It's fine. So I thought that was cool that he seemed pretty chill about it. And
to remind us that Maddie is just a teen and probably just wants to do regular teen things like going out with a boy. I mean, if she really wanted to, or, you know, just hanging out and all that. She
does talk a lot about feeling guilty for even caring about that kind of thing because she has so much other stuff that she thinks she should be dedicating her time to. She's like, I feel so guilty just wanting to like hang out with friends and have a boyfriend, and it's sad because I mean she should be able to do that if she wants.
Yeah, she should have the freedom to have a childhood, which I think does play into how much she loves her little sister and why she's so protective of keeping not her innocence but her like childhood kind of intact.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. To still have the opportunity to be silly and funny and all that stuff. So
really quickly, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of the homeless problem that we have in Collin County. If you you might live in Dallas County. I know that Wiley has several different counties that it's a part of. But I did a little bit of research today before we did this, and I got a lot of this information from the 2019 Collin County Point in Time Homeless Census Report. So point in time kind of just refers to at this given moment, this is how many people we know are in this situation. So the homeless population of Collin County, there were 558 homeless people in Collin County in the spring of 2019. And now, thanks to COVID, there's almost certainly more than that. I know that a lot of people who have lost jobs, have lost their homes, aren't able to pay rent right now. They talk about sheltered homeless people versus unsheltered homeless people. In this case, in Sleeping in My Jeans, Maddie and her family would have technically been sheltered because they have a car that they're living in. They have something they can sleep in at night. Unsheltered means you are literally sleeping on the streets. You have no shelter. There's nowhere to go. So in 2019, there were 163 unsheltered total people in Collin County, and 12 of those were in Wiley. And in addition to that, Wiley ISD reported 91 homeless students in 2019. And that is just the amount of students that reported themselves as having no reliable shelter or place to sleep at night. That doesn't count the unreported students.
Yeah, because a lot of people, there's a lot of shame around this kind of topic, and it can feel really shameful, even though it is a situation that is so out of people's control.
Yeah.
People can still feel really...
Especially students. They don't have
they
any...
can't do anything about it.
Yeah. And Maddie talks about that in the book, too, that how she doesn't want anybody at school to know, and she's constantly worried about how she smells and how she looks.
And her hair, and
Yeah. So their top identified needs, according to the census report, was affordable housing, obviously. Also, more temporary shelters. Collin County, unfortunately, has a very small number of temporary shelters for its homeless people. The Samaritan Inn in McKinney is the largest and most popular one. They probably provide the most support for the homeless in Collin County. But when we interact with homeless or transient people here at the library, we almost always tell them to go to McKinney to try to get into the Samaritan Inn. And a lot of times that can be a problem because it might be full. They might not have beds available. And the people that we're trying to send there might not have the documents that they need to get in and get an interview at the Samaritan Inn. Because they still have to pass a drug test. They have to have an intake interview with a counselor or someone. Yeah. So there are still hoops that they have to jump through for that. Medical and dental care was another big one. Job training and transportation options. Yeah. A lot of them don't have transportation to even get to McKinney.
Yeah, and public transportation here is pretty much non-existent. I mean, it's really not great.
The DART doesn't come this far north.
Nope.
It can't get up to McKinney, and so they're relying on buses or just any way that they can get a ride to get up to McKinney to the Samaritan Inn or to another area shelter. I know that Plano has one as well. I don't think it has as much room.
Yeah, it's
as
smaller.
The McKinney one. Yeah.
And I believe that one is only for women and children.
Yeah.
It might be a women's shelter.
And that's that's a whole other thing in itself. Yeah. Women and children are a more vulnerable, that's the word, a more vulnerable group, and so there are a lot more options for them, whereas homeless and transient men make up for a large percentage of the unsheltered homeless population. So we need more temporary options for them. So after hearing all of this, we do want to give you guys some options on how to help, especially around the holiday season. So we wrote down some stuff that we'll go through very quickly, but I will also have a slide at the end of this that has all the links and stuff that you can look at. You can always volunteer or donate to any of these shelters. The Samaritan Inn in McKinney, their website is saminn, SAMINN.org. The Collin County Homeless Coalition, they are the ones who put together this report. You can volunteer or donate to them. You can use homelessshelterdirectory.org to find area shelters in the DFW area and the Metroplex. And here in Wiley, you can donate or volunteer with the Amazing Grace Food Pantry. And they are part of the North Texas Food Bank. So you can always help them out as well. And that'll help the Wiley area.
And it might be worth it to look into your local government and contact your representatives and whoever is in charge of allocating resources to see if maybe there could be more work done just within the government, your local government.
Yeah. I forget what I was going to say. It was something else about contacting higher ups to help out people in need. A lot of these people also need help, mental health support. So if you do your research and you find places where you can help provide mental health counseling and just general kind of therapy and assistance for these people. Everybody should go to therapy.
Yes.
That I am of the opinion that everybody should get their mental health taken care of. So I hope you guys look into some of these. I hope you feel like giving during the holiday season. I hope you enjoyed Sleeping in My Jeans. She has a lot of great resources in the back as well, and she includes information about the Pacific Northwest area, which I know isn't going to help us here in Texas.
Yeah, but the book takes place in Oregon, and
yeah, it takes place in Portland, so she talks about that. The book also deals a little bit with trafficking, and that's a whole other thing you can look into that we don't have time for. Yeah. But support small presses, support your local government helping out the homeless people and the transient people in your community. Do what you can during the holidays, especially this year. And we will see you guys next month. Bye!